Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Sims 3 Lepacy Challenge. We are currently at the graveyard with Miss Agnes and Miss Indiana. I keep wanting to call her Dakota. And they both got a want to go and see Cornelia's grave, and Indiana was trying to just console her mom, but her mom is pretty inconsolable at this point. So, um, a little bit of an awkward interaction between the two of them, but we are actually going to come in here and get her grave. Um, Arizona is like bugged right now, so I'm just really quickly going to reset her. Sorry for keeping that in the video, but I didn't want to get that babysitter alert while I'm trying to show you guys what's up. And yeah, it's a hard time for the Schuberts right now, at least for Agnes. She's just really struggling with the loss of her sisters. So, I think taking Cornelia's grave with her, at least for right now, she can come and mourn about Cornelia, and I'll have Indiana mourn about her too. Just some quick little updates. Indiana is absolutely addicted to gardening, so I have some plans for when we start traveling with her. And she also dyed the tips of her hair purple in honor of Cornelia. Um, and yeah, I think her and her mom are just going to have a little moment. You may also notice that Agnes is nauseous. She is pregante. Denver took her out for a date just to try to cheer her up from her sister's passing, and a woohooty did happen, and she is now pregnant. So, I'm hoping this is the last want for a baby. I really want this to be the last baby between these two, but we shall see. Anyways, I will pick up in a little bit. Okay, guys, I'm coming back really quick again to show you Little Miss Indiana's gardening center. So she is, let me show you her traits first of all. I changed her charismatic trait to adventurous. Um, she loves the outdoors, is neat, and a green thumb. And all of her wants are just about gardening. So I was like, okay, girl, no problem. Let me help you out with that. So we built, by we, I mean me, I built a little gardening station for her, and I got her these little sunflowers because their suns are so good for fertilizer. Um, but yeah, she's a total gardener, and I think it's super cute. And I just wanted to show off her little um, not a greenhouse, but her little gardening station. I have these little ornamental corn plants over here, and I just thought it was super cute. I'm really excited to be playing with her in this way. And yeah, I will cut back in a little while. Okay, guys, quick little update. Denver has been promoted to a cat burglar, so we are one singular promotion from moving on to Gen 2 of this legacy, which is so exciting. Um, It says that he is now a cat burglar with a huge bonus. The take from dozens of bank robberies do not compare to a single cat burglar operation. You'll solo the biggest heists from now on. There shouldn't be any security systems too impenetrable, lasers too numerous, or guard dogs too alert. Get in, get out, get rich. And he has also taken this opportunity to do some stealing of his coworkers' cars. Um, I like to think that he swipes cars for his kids now, because little Indiana is so big now. I want her to have a Jeep. So, but I didn't do this. He autonomously did this, so he's swiping the Jeep. Um, but she isn't a gardener, so I think maybe I'll have him harvest some of these for her. Um, and finally, Miss Agnes is pregante. She is showing, and tomorrow we will find out what the gender of the baby is. She wants a boy. Denver doesn't know yet, but she has told Indiana and Dakota. So, yeah, I will cut back in a little bit. All right, everyone. So, this is kind of a big jump, but I was excited and I was like, I want to go to France. So Miss Indiana is here with Bella and Mortimer Goth. She's temporarily living with them so that they could travel. I think they all needed space to travel because of Cornelia's passing. Gunter passed soon after, and then to top it all off, Bella's dad, Simus, just passed away. So they were like, you know what? Let's travel. And then they invited Indiana, and so she is here, and she is queer because she is bi. So happy Pride Month, y'all. Anyways, um, so I think I'm gonna just have her check for a little adventure. And yeah, it's just going to be a grand old time. I'm really excited to be here in France. Definitely one of my favorite world adventures worlds. I don't know if I have a favorite like world adventure world overall. This is Mortimer's car, by the way. This is not the car that is Indy's, but I do love Egypt, but China is also gorgeous. It's just hard to pick. But yeah, so I will cut back when something fun happens. Alrighty, folks, we are at the site of our first adventure, and I am trying to look for little excavation sites. Is this one? Is there... Oh, it is one. Let's go. I definitely think Indiana is like a full seasoned traveler. I think she just loves the adventure because of her traits. And though she is a gardener, we're going to be harvesting all those grapes so she can start making wine when we get home. I just think she would also love finding relics and studying them. So, yeah, when she's older, she's going to be an Egyptologist. But that career goes off into kind of being like an archaeologist. So, that is what I see her being. And we are just going to do the tomb and I will cut back in a little bit. Okay, guys, we are back. I will probably not be showing a lot of the gameplay in the tombs as we continue, just because my game seems to struggle just a little bit, and in case of a crash, I don't want to like segment the footage, but for this first tomb, I thought it would be fun to include you guys. And this says, a note is scrawled on the wall. Every good explorer should carry a tent and dried food at all times. The stairs closed behind me, but luckily I'm prepared. I'm confident I'll find a way out any day now. So that person unfortunately did not make it. But Miss Indiana, I think, is a much more prepared traveler. She has quality food, she has veggies, she's got a lot going for her. And yeah, she is just going to traverse this tomb, pick up the goodies, and I will be back in a little while. Okay, guys, we are back, and Miss Indiana has completed the tomb. We are just going to collect the booty. I am glad I am not showing as much footage for in the tomb because I've already had one crash. So, yeah, I will try to figure out a way in the future to include more footage, but I just don't want it to be boring because often the tombs can be quite repetitive. Even though I love this expansion pack, it's genuinely, I think it's one of the most underrated expansion packs in the Sims 3 franchise, considering that this is the first one they released. It's incredible. I also think it's clear that they knew that since you couldn't move towns really easily, they were like, well, let's give them the option to travel. And it shows because it's a lot of fun to play this pack. But anyways, I'm just in my yapping era, so I will be back in a little bit. Alrighty, folks, we are officially at the Nectary, and I'm going to have Miss Lovely Indiana grab a winemaker and then also harvest all the grapes. And she also completed her tomb mission, so she has a visa level 1. And I also want her to make a friend so she can learn the language here, learn French. The language here, girl, I'm off the sauce. But I just think that she's amazing and I am just having a blast playing with her. I'm going to have her harvest all of the harvestables in the area so that we can take them home, plant them, And then when in the future, when we come to travel to France, we can get the higher end grapes to make some really expensive wine. I'm also just casually checking out the selections of Sims here for future partners, maybe some flirtation ships, but I haven't really seen anyone that has really been like, oh yeah, I could see her with them for sure. But yeah, I definitely think we are going to be exploring this nectary. This is probably my favorite lot in all of France. I think it's gorgeous. And when she's kind of in the air, like the place to where we're looking to get her married, I think I want to get her married here because she is a green thumb. I just think that it would be such a special place. And right here, these are supposed to be lavender fields, okay? Just imagine if I came in here and then just put lavender all throughout here and then a little wedding orange. Girl, girl, I could see it. But anyways, I'm just going to let her have some fun harvesting and then we'll probably make some wine and I will be back once we start doing that. Okay, guys, we are getting started with the wine making. So we're now going to squish the fruit. Um, I think this is like one of the best things they've ever done in this game right here is this. Just look at her. Look at her partying. Would you drink this wine? I wouldn't, but you know what? It's not made for me, it's made for her. So I think her parents will love getting to taste some wine that she made herself. I feel like she looks so dorky right now. But this is what makes this game fun. Mortimer in the back just pretending he doesn't see her. But yeah, Mortimer and Bella are here. They've been having a great time drinking, woohooing. I am hoping that Bella is pregnant with their first, which would be Cassandra, which I'm super excited for. And then they'll get pregnant again later and have Mr. Alexander um, a little bit later in both of their lives. But I just wanted to show the process of making nectar. They're going to be spending the night here, and I think this will be Indy's first time tasting nectar, which I think is really cool. I like to think that teenagers in this game go between the ages of like 15 through 19. And I just think since she's here with her older cousins, like they're of course watching her, but it's just wine and it's in France and it's in a really special place. So they're watching her drink, but also letting her try it for the first time. Mortimer is definitely binging, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I think Indiana is also going to get much, much closer with Bella while she's here. And yeah, I will cut back in a little bit. Okay, guys, Miss Bella and Indiana are just dancing, having a good time, chit-chatting, and Indiana's wine in the process has finished. So we are going to um, take this nectar. Oh my gosh, her blend is great. That's fabulous. I think it was 8 apples and then it was 2 grapes. It was either the Avernalio grapes or the Renat. Reno. I didn't take French, guys. I speak no other language than American, so as well as slight lesbian, but that's also debatable. So I am probably going to have her hit the hay, and then in the morning they will go to the market to get some food, and she will meet some locals, have some friendships, and yeah, I will cut back in the morning. Okay, guys, we are back. They are just going to have a cute little chill time in the center. I think I'm just going to call it the marketplace basically because there's food and books and everything in between. Um, and I think, yeah, I think they're just going to have a nice, relaxing time. It's gorgeous in France, beautiful weather. And Indiana did learn. I like to say she learned how to speak French because she learned both Philip's Kinspa as well as Je t'aime. Um, and yeah, I want her and Bella to get closer. I feel like back at home, like she has I think, one friend, but she just seems to really connect with her goth side of the family. Um, and I think it makes sense. I think she takes after her mom in that way, but has her dad's kind of adventurous, breaking the mold type of personality. So, oh, oh, he's a little vanilla face. Never mind. I thought he was a teen that she could talk to. But yeah, their time in France is going to be ending soon. And I will probably see you guys back in Sunset Valley. Okay, guys, we are back in our regular household. Miss Indiana is back in the household, and yeah, it was a really fun trip to France. I'm gonna have her tend to her garden. Unless she gets the want to get an A in school again, I'm not gonna force her to do homework. That's just kind of how I play. Um, I think it's more realistic that way to just let my kidlings do they thing. I am gonna check the family inventory to see if she got to keep the nectar, but I am probably going to play until the baby is born, and then that will be the end of gameplay, but stay tuned for the post show if you would like. So, yeah, I will cut back in a little bit. Okay, guys, I'm cutting back really quick because, oh my gosh, Indiana just rolled the want to kiss Tony for the first time. If you guys remember, Tony was really her first friend she made here, and ooh, she's attracted to her. We're gonna have to see if she is straight or not. But I just wanted to come back and share that. Indiana is bisexual. I did look. So yeah, very exciting. We may have a first relationship coming up. But anyways, I'll cut back in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back, and I just thought I would allow you guys to join me in the absolute and utter chaos that is this household. The screams of the children are crazy. I assume she's going to want to go to the hospital, but if not, we're just, we're just going to write it out. Settle an argument. Sure, sure. We'll do that for sure. Oh, Denver had to go to work. I think she's having this baby at home. I think she said, I've had so many, I might as well. I might as just well. And that's fair enough, girl. I get you. Ignore her pregnancy outfit also. This, I was too lazy to change it, so. Okay, so it is a new baby girl. They've had three girls, one boy together. Definitely a girl dad for Wilbur. Um, although, oh my God, not for Wilbur, for Denver. She was born with the genius trait, and you will get to choose her second trait. I am going to choose a name, and I will be right back. Okay, guys, we are back, and I decided to go with the name Alaska. And she is over emotional as well as a genius. Oh my gosh, this house is so full. This house is so full. But on this note, I am going to end the gameplay here. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned, and I will see you all in the post show. Okay, guys, welcome to the post show. Here we have Miss Indiana. This is the thumbnail I used for her creative sim, or not creative sim, her makeover, but I just thought she was the sweetest thing ever, so I wanted to start it here. Um, so in this episode, we picked off right after Cornelia passed, and Agnes was really struggling. Denver was definitely her shoulder to cry on, and they went on a date. One thing led to another, and a baby resulted from that date. This will be the last baby of the two of them. Like I love having kids in The Sims 3, but once I'm kind of moving on to the second gen, it gets really hard to have young ones in the house. So this is the last baby. And then Indiana was pursuing her hobby of being a gardener. She is just in her stride here. She loves gardening. She loves figuring out unknown seeds. And I feel like that pairs really well with her being the adventurer. She enjoys the puzzle solving, figuring out tombs, figuring out how much relics are. That is just her vibe. So I think whenever she does move out and we officially move on to her, I'm going to go with a very bohemian-esque type of home. I want everything to look cozy but traveler, and then have a greenhouse on the lot for her plants. because I think she is going to be a wine cellar, and this will be in Sunset Valley. We're not going to move out of this town until Twin Brook unless my game continues to struggle with this save. I don't really understand what's going on, but if it continues to crash this much, I think it would be better to move to a different town just to start that over. But anyways, I was having a lot of fun with her today. They went to the graveyard, her and Agnes, to mourn Cornelia. We picked up her tombstone, and Agnes was having a really difficult time. And I don't think Indiana really understood that when she was trying to console her, but this death is really hitting her hard. For Indiana, it was her aunt, but for Agnes, it's her sister. So her and her sister were really close, and I just think Indiana hasn't really experienced this type of grief with her parents before. This is the first major death in the family, so when she originally tried to console her, it didn't really go very well. But they cried together at the tombstone and took it home. And this is when Indiana kind of shined, is instead of trying to help her mom feel better, she kind of learned just to comfort her, be the shoulder to cry on, and just be there for her. And I feel like that's what Indiana is learning, is that not every puzzle can be solved. Sometimes it's how the pieces are, and you just need to be there to support the person and be there for them, to listen and to provide comfort. But she came home, hung out with little Arizona. She definitely loves her siblings. And later that evening, Agnes found out that she was pregante, and she was the first one to find out. I think Agnes and Indiana are really close. I think this was Agnes's first baby. Yeah, I think this was her firstborn, was Indiana. So I think she has a really special place for Indiana. I just think also that they might have some contention because Indiana is a lot more like her dad in the adventurous spirit, the going and being a daredevil, kind of doing things that are risky, because Agnes is just so opposite. But Indiana definitely inherited that sweetness from her mom, Agnes. But Mr. Denver today decided to take up the hobby of stealing cars for his kids. So he stole this Jeep for Indiana, and then we sold the Jeep that was Agnes's and got her a minivan because we now have a family of 4 kids, 2 babies, 1 child. So they definitely need that minivan. I'm very excited for Indiana to age up so I can leave the babies behind. Um, but I do love these two. I always love to show their dynamic because off camera, they are just so in love with one another, and they really have been since day one. It's just, I think Denver got caught up in Jamie, kind of a heat of the moment thing, and Wilbur was not planned. So he was trying to figure that out. But the way things worked out, these two were definitely meant to be together. They're finally back on being in a stable relationship. Him and Wilbur are doing better. They're keeping their distance, but it's making the heart grow fonder. So, yeah, I just think it is a really special dynamic. And then Agnes went to the hospital, and she was struggling here because they were telling her that this pregnancy is harder than her other ones. She needed to rest more, take care of herself more because of the stress of losing her sister. This pregnancy was not going as smoothly as her other 3. So she was struggling and worrying about the baby and what was going to happen, and Denver was there for her as always, and they were just able to rely on one another throughout the pregnancy. Through this, they I guess I should say skipping to Mortimer now. Mortimer, Bella, and Indiana went to France before Agnes gave birth. I think Agnes and Denver collectively decided that this was such a hard time, and since Bella and Mortimer were going anyways, they were like, you know what? If Indiana wants to go, she can go. So she went with her cousin, and I'm calling Bella her aunt, and she did some tomb diving. She found the mysterious baseball. She hates bugs. And once she completed that tomb, she went to the nectary with her family and made her own wine, which was by random chance a great blend. So she's a natural at this. She got closer with Bella and was just having a great time in France. She learned how to speak French. And yeah, she just got to be close with her extended family. And then we came home. This is the final screenshot I took, but you'll see in the gameplay that the baby was born a little Alaska. And Miss Indiana also rolled a romance wand for her childhood bestie, Miss Tony. And when she was gardening, Tony called her after school. So I think Tony also has feelings for her. I feel like it's going to be a little complicated because Tony has a boyfriend right now, and she really blew Indiana off when she was a child. So I just think this is going to be an interesting dynamic, but there will be romance in the future for Miss Indiana, and I was thinking maybe her and Tony will move in together when Tony becomes a young adult because she's a little bit older than her. And yeah, I'm really excited to get started on Gen 2. We'll probably have maybe one or two more parts with Denver finishing up his career, and then we will officially be on Gen 2 of the Lepacy. I'm going to try to get it to 15 parts, the 15th maybe being the slideshow of the end of Gen 1. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this part, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.